All right, it's good to see you guys. Today was a hot one. We moved it up so that we can try to get maybe a little bit less heat, and so we've got a walkthrough in place of what normally would be a practice this afternoon. But I thought way way intentional and focused, and we're at the point of camp where we're working on a lot of situations, so a lot of 2-minute situations today, last plays of a game, and it's coming off of 4-minute and goal line, short yardage, and that. So the guys have been taken to all that really good. I think Blake has continued to really play well. There's a little bit more situations today, but yesterday there was a whole bunch of competition, and I thought he had one of his better days. He keeps upping his best effort, and so impressed with that. Tron's a big part of that, Q-Tron. And then, I think both Richard Reese and Dominic both continue to push each other. I think they're that 1-2 punch right there is a benefit to them and to us. And then, defensively, the emergence of like Carl Williams, for example, and Corey Gordon, some of our younger players has been really cool to see. I think those guys are playing with confidence, and they're playing with a swagger, which as a defense we need. Mike Smith's continued to make plays. Gabe Hall has really shown up these last couple of days, and has taken a big step forward, which is really good to see. I think T.J. Franklin, his leadership's been a big part of that. So excited about the growth. I think the situational stuff's been good. I think continuing to try to get deeper and deeper out into some waters to where guys really have to make choices about like who they are, who we want to be, and all that. And I think we did some of that these last couple of days. We're going to do that for sure on Saturday. Take any questions that you guys got.
Dave, you mentioned Reese and Richardson. Do you see that as maybe more of a tandem than them? I'm guessing they're still competing for the job, but more using them as kind of a tandem?
Yes. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I know for a fact, they both want to be the starter, but I think they're so talented, and I think our ability to maximize that particular talent, I think, has really grown throughout the spring to summer to now, that we can really use them in similar but sometimes real different ways that can really benefit them individually. And so I think there's going to be lots of opportunities for touches and carries and catches and all of it. So I think I look at that as a tandem. And I think some of that has to be worked out here in these next couple of days.
Are there questions in your mind that you wouldn't mind sharing that still need to be answered for the first game?
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's so far in camp we've had, and this goes back to spring too, we've had really unbelievable and strong practices maybe on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and then we cross the bridge, we get to the stadium, and we don't necessarily see that. I want to say the spring game was perhaps some of that. And then this last spring game we had, or this last scrimmage we had some remnants of that. And so I think for us to play our best, under bright lights, in big stadiums, in the big moments, I think those things still have to happen. Now, I think there's a comfort level of what they're doing that's happening now. I think there's a cohesion, and that the guy to the left and right of them has their back. I think there's a trust level in their coaches. And so all of that has kind of been growing, and I'm happy with how that's going. But we got to get that translated to playing our best in McLean. And we haven't done that yet.
In terms of the running back position, when you have guys who are used to being the bell cow back, for Richard last year, for Dominic at OSU, how easy is it to convince them to be in a running back team?
No, appreciate that. Yeah, I think what you can do with that is that you could say, hey, man, when you are going, you're fresh and you're at your best. And you're going to give your 100% on every snap you got. And, to mix that or to tie that together to, hey, when you're on, when you're feeling it, when you're in the flow, we're going to ride you, we're going to go with you. So I think to find the balance between those two things is kind of the trick to it. And then it helps when you've got a great coach and you've got two great kids that want the best for the team. It gives you a good chance to do it.
Lots of newness along the offensive line, and I know there's, not a lot of starts coming back. How have you seen that group take any steps throughout the fall, and how much more tinkering are you doing for the season?
No, I appreciate that. Coach Mateos hasn't been with us this week. He had a death in his family, so he's been gone. And, Coach Grimes has been coaching the O-line. And so just seeing him I've seen Coach Grimes strut now on the field and kind of be real demonstrative, and just I think he's back kind of at a home base for him. And I've seen the difference with the O-line. There's an aggressiveness and chip on the shoulder of all of it. And so, we're going to get Eric back tomorrow. And so, I think there's a ton of potential there, ton of ability. We have to get the belief and the confidence. And so we're, this week I think's been a plus with that. And I think Coach Grimes just getting his personality all over it has helped.
You guys have been kind of working here by yourselves, as the students are coming back, classes are starting. Just how does that kind of change things, and how do you help them navigate through that?
No, appreciate that. Yeah, I mean the be a pro off the field to protect the team is a big part of it. After the Saturday scrimmage, I know there's going to be, get-togethers and things and all of that. And so I think to handle that right is way important. And then, to go to class and to really do well with class. We've got a fair amount of grad transfers, guys that have already graduated and are here and, choosing not to get a master's in that. But it's way important for us and for them that they do well with school. I think if there's any part of you that's not fully aligned, that's not right, that's not in a good place, and you try to hide from that part, I think that affects the other parts of you. I think that brings down the playing. I think that brings down the team. I think if you're not right internally, it gets exposed. And so the school part is a way important thing. I'm going to be checking classes, all of our coaches will be. And so to do all the things and to do them in a way that, is the right way to do them is way important. And so we're on to that. I'm excited for that.
As those players get back to the idea of having to juggle things that are more than just football for the first time really this fall camp, how do they do that in a way that doesn't set you back with a kickoff about 2 weeks away?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I think they got to embrace it. I mean, that's what they're here to do. It's the whole person. It's the mind, body, spirit, all of that. And so I think to fully embrace the school part of it and the relationships that come from that, it's funny because the kids that have been injured, we have a few that have a red coat on and are trying to work to get back. As much as we talk about it and as much as we like it to be, that they fully know that, they're more than a player and that's not their complete identity. I really think, I'm almost certain that they believe that they really are just a player, and that is totally their identity until they get hurt, until it's taken away. And then all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of stuff that comes with that. And, I think suffering is such a great teacher. And so I think but try to be able to lay out this path and to lay out that, hey, this is you're more than just this as a player. And these are all the things that you are, and this is how this can help you later in life, is really all we're about. And a lot of the kids, I hope, come here because of that. And so once we get to it here in a couple of days, it'll be what we came to do.
How much have the returning receivers from a year ago grown up since a year ago, and specifically Armani?
Appreciate that. Yeah, that is a key component of our success for this year, is the ability to do that. And all the talent in the world with a coach that cares, truly cares. And then we got kids that truly care, and kids that are sensitive and just have all, and then to mix in some experience, good and bad, all of that's in there. And so to grow from that and to kind of attack, like for example, this Saturday, to be able to attack that. You can look at yesterday, and I can't tell you how many. It's almost not worth. It's almost like you shouldn't say anything, because it's not until we do it, in a bigger stage that it really matters. And so I think that's kind of where it's at, and I think they're a big part of that, a really big part. And I've got full faith that they're going to do it, and their coach does too. And I feel like Armani's a big part of that because he believes it as well. And so it's going to be a cool story when it's all said and done, that group. Okay, thank you guys.